It's true, Shawn.
What are you talking about? What's true?
All of it. You you know all of it. You know it.
So where can I find this truth it?
On the Pop Bros Network, because this is a Pop Bros exclusive.
Did you just want to act like Han Solo again?
You know, doing a promotional spot isn't like dusting crops, boy. What's up, everybody? I'm Richard.
And I am Shawn.
And we're speaking the language of bromance.
So Richard, I want to get serious right now. So
Oh, please, yes, get serious. I'm gonna tell. I'm gonna tell you something. Are you listening? Are you listening to me? Yeah. Okay. Get serious on me.
don't make fun of me. I'm drowning my sorrow. So I went to the doctor, Richard, and I had some blood work done. And
Okay.
I have a disease right now, Richard.
Oh God, is it cancer? Is it cancer? Did you WebMD it? Like what
I
happens
did,
when,
and
like, doctor
it could be
took my
cancer.
blood and then it's like cancer.
No, so Richard, I have come down apparently with Rocky Mountain spotted fever. I've never even been to the Rockies.
Really?
Yeah, I've been to the Rockies a couple
Well,
times.
that's probably where you got it.
but not recently. It's been years since I've been to the Rockies.
Well, then it lay dormant. It was lying in wait for that perfect moment. Is it sexually transmitted? Do you need to make phone calls?
Maybe. That's why I'm going out on this. I'm hoping somebody can help me. No, so I had 2 spells of what I consider like flu-like symptoms. And
Okay.
And just so I know everybody that's listening is like, oh my God, is Shawn going to die? Is the show going to be over? Thank God, I've been sick and tired of this shit. I don't know why
I keep listening. I waited for that moment that hopefully someone would come down with one of you two would come down with a terrible disease. And it finally happened. Thank God. Best episode ever.
I started at episode 0 like, oh my God, they can't keep going, right? And they kept trucking along. No, so it's not contagious. It's not super serious. I had 2 instances where I had like what I consider like flu-like symptoms where, whenever you start getting that sick feeling, your muscles kind of ache, you get that like slow fever.
Okay. Yeah.
So I kind of
Or
had that.
like you it feels like it's coming on, like you're coming down with something.
Yeah.
You just like it feels like it's coming on, but it hasn't hit you full force.
Exactly. Like you're kind of like, oh, something
Okay.
doesn't feel right. And then slowly it's like, man, why does my knee hurt? Did I do something? Like, it's like, oh, my muscles ache. And it's like, man, I'm starting to feel hot. I got a fever. And then like all of a sudden it's like, boom. It's like, oh my God, give me a blankie, some
Blanky.
Sprite. I'm going to lay down on my pillow. And I don't know if you're like this, but when I get sick like that, I'm a baby. Like I am a miserable baby.
I am too. I think that's a guy thing. I think guys in general are like, we don't deal with illness well. I will say that like I rarely come down with anything. Like I rarely get sick. But when it happens, like I'm done. I'm out. I need sleep. It's bad.
I mean, it's been like 2 years since I've been like that sick, and it happened. So, first time it happened, I felt it coming on. I got home from work. I was about to work out. I was like, oh, something doesn't feel right. I think we were gonna do a show that night, and I told you, I'm like, I can't do anything.
Yeah.
Fever got up to like 102, 101.5 somewhere in there, 101.5 somewhere in there. So I just put on a bunch of sweat clothes, went to bed early, bundled up with my blankie and my little bear pillow.
And your bear pillow.
My language bromance bear. And, just sweated it out.
Your bro bear?
Bro bear. Yeah, my bro bear. And, about middle of the night, I wake up full of sweat. Fever had broke. The next morning, I just had a bad headache, so I was fine. I was like, oh, just, 24-hour flu kind of thing. About 2 weeks to the day, it happened again. Same exact thing.
Ugh.
Fever came on, got my, covered up and sweated it out, and I felt fine the next morning. Well, come to find out, everybody keeps telling me, it's like, well, if you don't have a lot of flu-like symptoms and you have a high fever, that's probably not a good thing. So for the first time probably in 12 years, I went to the doctor.
Oh.
And the whole time I'm thinking, it's like, this is Richard's thing. It's like, don't go to the doctor for 12 years. You're healthy. Go to the doctor. What happens? Cancer.
Yep, that's what happens. I knew a guy completely healthy, hadn't gone to the doctor in forever, went to the doctor one time, boom, Rocky Mountain spotted fever.
It's crazy. Don't know how it happens.
Yep, he died. Painful death, I heard. I don't know. I saw him in the news.
He looks like shit every time I saw him. Well, I only saw him once last week. He looked horrible. But they did a normal checkup. She's like, hey, have you been bit by a tick, or, have you had, any of these different things? I was like, no, I mean, just happened. She's like, okay, well, we'll take your blood. So she tells me, she says, hey, if it's nothing serious, I will, just go ahead and call you and let you know. But if it's something serious like cancer, or she didn't say cancer, but she's like, if it's something that you're going to die from, I want to see your reaction.
I like how she made a point not to say if it's cancer.
But yeah, it's like, if you're going to die, like, I like seeing people's reaction when I tell them these bad newses. It's like, well, at least I'm healthy, and your bill will be in the mail. Good news is I'll make my numbers. So it was a Thursday when I went in for this. So like, we should have the test results for you on Friday. So I was like, okay, perfect. Friday comes, I don't get a phone call. I don't think it's a big deal because, typically those things take a little bit. Monday, I get a phone call, right? This was like 5 days ago.
Yeah, so you're waiting. I was going to say, because you went Thursday, so if you didn't get a call on Friday, that means if you were to get any sort of response, it wouldn't be until Monday.
Yeah.
So then what did you spend the weekend doing? Were you like writing out, you're writing out your will? You're holding your son up and like, soon you will inherit my legacy.
I bequeath all my podcast episodes to my son. Oh, damn it, Dad. You left me all the shitty stuff. Hey, you little bastard.
Hey.
This is my art. Don't make fun of it.
Good thing is I'm contagious.
But no, I didn't think that. Monday they call and they're like, this is what's messed up. So Monday they call me and she says, okay, everything's fine. You looked a little dehydrated. That's it. So no big deal. I'm like, okay, perfect. All of a sudden today, I have a missed phone call. And then Tiffany calls me, or Tiffany just texts me, says, hey, I talked to the doctors. Don't worry about calling them back. I'm like, okay, well, maybe, like, was it an insurance thing, or what was it?
God. Like, we're having a party.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to come home and your parents are going to be there and everybody's crying.
Yeah. Why is Richard here?
I'm here for stuff. That's it.
It's not the language of bromance anymore. It's the language of sad man. So I'm like, okay, that's weird. So I went ahead and listened to the voicemail because I wanted to see, like, surely if it's like an insurance thing or like, hey, we just need more information, wouldn't be a big deal. The voicemail is essentially like, hey, we've got some more results on your blood test. Please give us a call right away.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah. So I get this and I'm like, okay, well, this is kind of messed up. So I get up and walk out and I call Tiffany because I'm like, well, what does she know that I don't know? And so I call her and she's like, I'm like, hey, what was all that about? Like, what's going on with the doctor? What'd the blood test say?
Oh, nothing. I'm just picking out a casket.
Yeah. What flowers do you want on your gravestone? I mean, the dinner table. Hey, we did get that big insurance policy, right? Like, I thought we got that set up. We did, right? Okay, that's good.
Excellent. Excellent.
There's going to be a guy staying at the house. Don't worry about it. It's nothing serious. Who's this? It's my lawyer, Todd, and my boyfriend. Aww. But, she's like, hey, they did your blood test, and they found that you have, and this is where time kind of slowed down for me.
Yeah, because we found out.
Cancer?
And then it's you.
Like a blood disorder? Like, what was it?
Have AIDS.
Incurable disease. But, she says, she's like, they found that you have, and she said the Rocky Mountain spotted fever. And I've heard about this before.
You have? Because you texted me, I'd have to look it up. You texted me and you were like, I have Rocky Mountain spotted fever. And my first thought is like, that sounds like an old-timey disease. I think I even texted that back. I'm like, that sounds old-timey, like yellow fever and shingles, which, I mean, shingles is an old, it just has that old-timey feel to it. Like,
well, I looked it up after I talked to you on the phone, and it was like discovered in like 1894, and I can't remember the guy's name, but yeah, they end up like giving it that name. I guess let's just go to our famous page, Wikipedia.
Why is it called Rocky Mountain Spotted Fever?
Because it was first identified in the Rocky Mountain region, and apparently, if it's bad enough, you can get like spots on your hand. Like they have a picture here of somebody that has it really, really bad, and it looks like somebody has like freckles, but on every inch of their body,
like a ginger.
Kind of, yeah.
Oh my God! Does this disease make you ginger? Are you gonna get red hair?
Oh, maybe. Would you still do the show with me if I was a ginger?
Oh God, no!
I'd steal your soul. There is no Shawn. There's only Rocky Mountain Spotted Fever. But no, apparently, it's a bacterial infection that is passed to you from a tick. So you get these from ticks.
Yeah, I looked that up. It says it's like an infected tick bite.
Mm-hmm. So you looked it up because you were concerned. I told you about this. You're like, oh God, my best friend's gonna die.
Yeah,
I was expecting in this
actually, I was looking to see how long it was gonna take.
how much longer you had to do this shit. Like, oh God, I was gonna tell him I wanted to quit doing the show,
and but now, okay, 18 months. I can hold on for 18 months.
But I was expecting it got me thinking about this even more. Like, if they were like, hey, Shawn, you need to come in, and we got something we want to tell you. You'd think like, oh, you'd want your wife there with you so she could be in that news. And I'm like, no, I think I'd want Richard there with me. So we're sitting there, and the doctor's like, okay, so we got your blood test back. And I imagine you and I are sitting next to each other, and you're holding my hand and like rubbing my back or rubbing my arm or hand.
It'll be okay, Pookie Bear.
And she walks in, you're like, hey, what's up, doctor? I'm Richard. I'm Shawn. And we're speaking the language of dead pants.
And we're speaking the language of bromance. How are you? You have cancer. Oh.
Ooh, but I'm not a Cancer. I'm a Capricorn. This isn't going to go well. You have cancer.
Incurable disease.
But I imagine in our great, make-believe world, we're sitting there and the doctor walks in. He's like, okay, so, we've had this blood test and we found that you have, and then you're like, oh my God, it's cancer. And she's like, no, it's not cancer. You're like, oh God, good. She goes, no,
it's AIDS. Who you been with? You whore. Whap.
She's like, it's Rocky Mountain Spotted Fever. And you're like, oh my God, it's worse than cancer. It's a mountain of cancer. Come on, Shawn, we got to figure out how to save your life. You just grab me by the hand.
Come with me.
Take me out of the room. And we're like trying to figure out, like, okay, Rocky Mountain Spotted Fever, like, what's got to be the cure for this, right?
And then we go, oh my God, and then we go on like an eat, pray, love journey. So like we're in the Orient and we're like, no, I've seen this. It's a witch doctor. I think he's totally got the cure for this.
Well, I imagine we're trying to process this like, okay, Rocky Mountain Spotted Fever. All right, it's got to be the pines and the water at the top of the Rocky Mountain. So we got to go to the Rockies. We got to hike to the very top. You got to smell the shit out of those pines and eat that snow at the top of the mountain. Come on, Shawn. Yeah. Road trip, bromance. It's a bromance to save your life.
Yay!
Holiday Road. Saving Shawn's life. Don't die of Rocky Mountain Fever.
Rocky Mountain Spotted Fever. No.
You play John Denver all the way, and Rocky Mountain comes on. You just like, we'll turn this one down.
Be like, no, I want to embrace it.
I want to fight this Rocky Mountain head on. We make all the way to Colorado.
John Denver did. Oh.
I probably come down with another fever, and we get to the edge of the mountain, and I just give the mountain the bird. I'm like, I'm going to beat you, mountain.
You want a piece of me? I'm right here. Come on.
People are like taking pictures and looking at me all weird. You're like, it's okay. He has Rocky Mountain Spotted Fever.
Oh, I just thought he smoked the weed and was not handling it well.
Well, That too. I told him it only helps for cancer and glaucoma, but he wanted to try and smoke up anyway.
Next, we're going to Tibet.
So we make the trip up the mountain, get the pine cones. I smell it. Eat some snow. It doesn't feel good. Like, well, maybe you need to shuffle these pine cones somewhere.
Yeah. And then we're like, we're going to go find a wise man on top of the Rocky Mountain. And it's just like an old homeless dude.
He's had like Rocky Mountain spotted fever 100 times.
And he's in a cave. And we're like, we need you to cure our friend. And he's like, get out of my house.
He's like, you have to find the tick that bit you and kill it. It's like a vampire. Well, that just doesn't seem practical, homeless man. There's like billions of ticks in this world.
How are we going to find the one tick? He'll be mocked.
Richard, search my body. Take off all my clothes.
And that's the YouTube video. It's me rubbing my hands on your naked body while a homeless man looks on in a cave in the middle of the mountains.
Singing Holiday Road for no reason.
Shawn, we're finally trending.
But yeah, it's funny that this apparently comes from tick bites. And I don't remember getting bit by tick anytime recently. The last time I was bit by a tick that I knew of, I think we talked about on the show, I actually got bit in a not so comfortable place.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's not good.
So I was at work one day, and I'm like, man, something itches. I felt a little bump, but didn't think anything of it.
And you were like, oh, God, it's cancer.
I don't want to think about it. There's no bump. And so I get back home, and it just kept itching and real bad. So I was like, okay, well, Tiffany, can you take a look at this? Like, I know it's kind of weird, but can you look at that? And she's like, is that a freckle? I'm like, no, I don't have any freckles on my balls. And it's like, oh my God, that's a tick. You found the love of your life, Richard, when the person will peel a tick off of your intimate areas.
Oh, don't get me started. The last story I told about the unfortunate incident with my downstairs business. So that had to be that was an open thing that had to be like dressed.
Ooh, uh-huh.
So I had gauze in there, and my wife, my loving, caring wife, who's a registered nurse, took it upon herself to once a day help me change the gauze.
That's
like
love.
pull the gauze out and then pack more dry gauze in and recover it.
And you know what's great about that is our wives still have sex with us even after those events.
Yeah, because if I was a girl and that's what I saw, like that's what you'd see it's like that's what you'd see every time. It'd be that you'd be like, oh my God, that's a horrible mangled mess.
I cannot.
And that was before the injury.
Yeah, so I'm kind of curious. So I don't know if I've had Rocky Mountain spotted flu since that tick bite, or if I just got it recently. And like you said, maybe it lay dormant. I don't know if it'll go away on its own. They gave me some pills, some like antibiotics to try and get rid of it.
Well, it says they typically begin. So I looked I looked it up. Typically begins 2 to 14 days after the bite of an infected tick. Usually half the people do not remember being bitten. So you're in that half. Symptoms are non-specific, so most people visit a healthcare provider during the first few days of symptoms. The following is a list of symptoms. So you have fever. Rash occurs 2 to 5 days after fever, but it may be absent. Headache, nausea, vomiting, red eyes. Did you have red eyes?
Red eyes. Clear eyes. No, I just had the fever and the headache and the achiness.
Oh my God. It says it's a serious illness that can be fatal in the first 8 days of symptoms if not treated correctly.
Oh, wow. Well, it's been over 8 days and I'm still kicking.
Oh, that's Shawn. Oh. Language of one man's. Patients who are treated early may recover quickly, while those who experience a more severe course may require IV antibiotics, prolonged hospitalization, or intensive care. But you don't have a rash? There's no rash?
No, I didn't have any rash or anything like that. I mean, I have felt kind of weak the last few days or last couple weeks, but
Use of antibiotics, blah, blah, blah. Fever generally subsides. Failure to respond to the treatment suggests that the condition might not be that. Well, I guess they just give you pills and then you get all better.
yeah, just antibiotics, it sounds like. But what's interesting, I haven't got the phone call yet, but I guess that they trace the health department. I'm sorry, the health department traces cases of this. So I'm gonna get a phone call from the health department being like, "Hey, what the hell you been doing in those woods with those ticks?" I just wanted to know what it was like to love one.
I loved a tick that wasn't clean.
But it was kind of weird though, because after I got that phone call, I didn't really know how to feel. Because the situation, like, oh my God, I'm a carrier of a disease. I have a disease, Richard.
You have a disease.
I've never had a disease in my life, and right now I have one that's RMSF. I have Rocky Mountain Spotted Fever, Richard.
Yeah. Are you gonna like join like support groups and all that stuff?
Probably should. We probably should start a support group and bring some spotlight to this, deadly disease.
Yeah. You should. You could have the Rocky Mountain March.
Yeah, the RMS, the RMM. RMS was the Titanic. It sank. Richard, don't laugh at me. They say that there can be issues with the brain when you have RMM, when you have Rocky Mountain, RMSP, Rocky Mountain Spotted Fever.
I said, I don't know if we'd be able to tell.
Probably not. I don't know if he's doing a bit or if he's really just stupid. It's a little of both.
Column A, column B. Did you parlay this into getting like some sort of sympathy from like your wife or coworkers or something like that?
Oh, actually, I got a great story about my coworkers on this one. So I told everybody about it because, I mean, people knew that I wasn't feeling good. And so I went up to my boss because he said he hasn't been feeling good lately, too. And so I went up to him. I'm like, hey, I just want to let you know that.
Have you two been running around in the woods together?
Maybe. That's what we do.
Tra-la-la-la.
It's called mentoring, Richard.
Let's go pick flowers. What does this have to do with a job? Shut up. I want daisies.
But I went in and I told him, like, hey, I just got a phone call from the doctors and they gave me, results of my blood test. And I'm like, and I guess I have Rocky Mountain Spotted Fever. And he's like, what the hell is that? And I've heard of it, so I assumed
And you're like, no idea.
Yeah.
I'll be dead in a week.
That's what I said. I don't know. And I'm like, but they said it's really contagious, so I'm going to give you a hug before I leave. And he didn't realize I was joking and took like 6 steps backwards away from me. And he's like, well, get the hell out of here. If I would have known that was been his reaction, that would have been a great time to have like a red packet of something in my mouth. And be like, whoa, God.
Oh, God, not again.
But no, I was like, no, I'm just kidding. It's not contagious. I'm fine. That was the first question I asked because, obviously with the kid and the wife, like I don't want to be bringing, some kind of deadly disease in the house.
Yeah. You don't want to be patient zero.
Yeah.
Are you patient zero?
Maybe.
Is this how the zombie apocalypse starts? Does it start with you?
No, this has been around for a while, so.
Oh. Well, that's no fun.
That's why RMSF needs to be brought in the spotlight, Richard. It's a bad epidemic that no one knows about.
No one knows about. That's very true.
There's these deadly Nazi ticks out there that go around biting people and infecting them with their dirty, dirty diseases.
I hate ticks.
Yeah, ticks are terrible. There's nothing worse than like feeling it crawl on you too. And then you get it. I mean, it's like any kind of parasite.
As far as I know, I haven't had a tick bite in a while, like a long while. My kids like to play outside a whole bunch, and when we're at like my her parents' house or something like that, I always have to kind of give them a once over.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I found them. I don't think I found any that were actually attached. Like I've usually found them when they were just like crawling, looking for a sweet spot.
Yeah. Well, if I go out in the woods, I'll usually take a shower pretty close afterwards. So I wonder if that helps wash them away.
That's because you're weird about showers.
Yeah, I know. I can't help it. I get a little sweaty and I get scared that I might have a tick on me. So I wonder if like that's what happened here. And I'm trying to figure out. It was over a month ago, I think, when I was out kind of in the woods. So that's the only time I was recently around a tick that would have bit me, I think. I mean, I'm sure there's none in like the house that just like crawl in the house and bite me, then go back to their hiding place.
No, if they bite you, they're gonna stay biting you.
Yeah, so maybe I washed it.
Ticks
down the
don't
drain or
bite you
something.
and then leave. They bite and they want to stay. They bite and they want to stay and they want to live there and get all huge.
Yeah, like
fat.
the dog ticks that you ever had a dog that like had a tick.
Oh
that
my
huge?
god!
So
my dog
gross.
has gotten them, and they look like, ugh.
And you feel bad for the dog too.
And then you get them off. You get them off, and then you like, you get them off of the dog, and then you like go to kill them, and that pops.
Yeah. Well, when you put it down too, and it's like moving its legs, but it's been there so long it doesn't know how to walk. Plus, it's too fat. Like
Gross.
Gluttony, more blood.
Gross.
Have you ever had a tick get anywhere near that big on you or anybody that you know?
Oh no.
I've heard stories about like people that like just didn't see it and had like ticks get not like the dog size, but get like fairly fat, which is creepy in its own way.
It's always, what's your ideal? I always like burning ticks. Whenever you like, if you find them, like I always take them and then like set them on fire.
Well, usually I just flush them because usually it's in the house when I see them, or whenever I find it crawling on me or something like that. Usually it's
See, it doesn't. See, that's not good enough for me because if I flush him down the toilet, then I'm like, oh god, what if he like gets in the pipe? What if he like he's going down the pipe and then he sticks to the side of the pipe and then he's like, not today, buddy, and crawls back out.
You're the one that flushed me, you son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Bite you. And now you have Rocky Mountain spotted fever.
Yeah. And you know whose fault that is? Mine. You know why? Because I didn't finish where I started. How many action movies start because the hero gets, in some terrible situation and they think he's dead. He's left for dead, but he's not. And he comes back. That's this tick. That are these ticks, Shawn.
So the tick tries to get, like, he goes out, he gets Lyme disease, he gets Rocky Mountain spotted fever, he even gets, like, rabies just to fuck you up even more.
Yeah. And then he comes back, and he's like, this is it. This is the moment.
It's the Jason Voorhees of ticks. I go around a tree, and he's just right there.
Yeah. That's not what I want.
But yeah, so I got some antibiotics, so we'll see how that works. But it's kind of scary too. I mean, so I didn't realize that I got bit, right? I have no idea that I got bit by this tick.
Right.
And realistically, it had to be within at least the last month. The kid could have got bit, or Tiffany could have got bit. There's a lot of scarier things that could have happened with this, I guess.
Well, it could have bitten you and then got shaken off or something like that. Or you could have gotten bit by the tick and then it might have gotten not shaken off, but it might have bit and attached, and then the tick would have gotten away, but the head might still be there. The head might still be there, Shawn.
Oh God.
There might be a tick head embedded inside your skin as we speak.
There's nothing worse than a tick head. You go to the store and the tick butts in front of you and you're like, you stupid tick head.
And turns around, he's like, what was that?
Nothing.
You're like, nothing.
Good, I'd bite you. And I've got Rocky Mountain spotted fever. You want spots and a headache and a fever?
Brother's got Lyme disease.
Got the fever!
Okay, so Shawn, to give you some comfort in this your time of need, I found a story while we were talking about this. Okay?
All
I'm
right.
going to read you the headline, and the headline is, Unluckiest man in Australia bitten on the penis by a spider.
Ooh.
For the second time.
Oh, I think he was asking for it.
And I know some people are thinking, why is that news? And I'm saying, why isn't that news?
That's a tale of terror right there. That's a
that
warning.
is.
Don't stick your dick in a cobweb.
Like you do.
Wonder how this feels. It feels awful. It feels awful. Maybe I did it wrong the first time. Let me try again. No, it still burns.
I haven't read this story or anything. I saw the headline. I was like, ooh, funny stories with insect bites. Here we go. Okay, a 21-year-old Australian man has been labeled the unluckiest man in Australia after he was bitten by a spider on the penis for the second time in 5 months. The tradesman says he was bitten by a redback spider while using a portable toilet at a work site.
Oh. Isn't there anything worse than a portable toilet?
Oh, God.
Because you go in and, usually it's your last resort. Like, guys are lucky because, like, if you have to go number one, you can go in the woods, obviously. But if you're in a public place, you go in there and...
No, you don't go in the woods, Shawn. That's how you get Rocky Mountain spotted fever.
That's true. That's true. So you just go right in the middle of the party.
Don't judge me. Pull your shirt up. Why does he pull his shirt up when he pees?
Pull your pants down all the way to your ankles.
Don't judge me. Wiener's out.
But yeah, like if you're a dude, you can at least stand up there, hold your nose, and just pee and walk out. Girls have to hover if they have to go.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
I don't know about for girls, but like peeing in it as a guy is not the worst thing in the world. But if you have to go number two in those things, like in the middle of summer, they're so hot. They smell disgusting. Yeah. You walk out of there and you do not feel clean whatsoever.
And also, like, and this is a weird fear of mine, but I feel like as far as bathroom situations, like you're already vulnerable when you're on the toilet in the first place. Like I think we've talked about this. Like Stephen King's, like everybody talks about Stephen King's It. Everybody talks about the damn clown. Okay, and yes, the clown is a very creepy, scary thing. But I'll tell you what scares me even more is there is a moment in Stephen King's It where a guy gets attacked while he's sitting on the toilet. Like something comes up through the toilet and attacks him. And I'm thinking, oh my God, that would be the worst thing ever because that is literally your most vulnerable point.
Oh, I have fears of, I mean, they've seen like pythons that get out of like their cages. And they crawl up into toilets. And I always have that fear like you're sitting down there and all of a sudden you feel something bite your buttocks. And that's, it's like, oh my God, this boa got through and is wanting to, eat my butt.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, okay, so like I said, you're already at your most vulnerable moment. But I think it's even worse when you're in a porta potty because it's not that stable. Like, what's to stop like two guys from just like giving a good shoulder into the thing and knocking
I have that exact fear.
Oh, so you're sitting there and you like when I sit in there, like I kind of like brace the walls because in the event this thing does get knocked over, like I don't want to go tumbling around in this shit with it.
Well, no, it doesn't matter. So I recently actually used a porta potty. We went to some festival and I had to go number one. I had to tinkle.
Oh my God, maybe this is how.
Maybe. No, I had all this before that.
What about spider bites? Did you get bit? Did you get a spider bite?
No spider bite.
Okay.
But like you go in and they're disgusting, right? So you look in and you see what the last person did in there. Like there's no hiding it. And it's like, I don't know whose poo that is, but it's right there staring at me while I go tinkle. Yeah. And I have that, like I'm sitting there, I'm like, what would stop somebody from running down that hill, hitting this and knocking it over?
And then just running away. Because they do it and then they just run away.
Yeah.
And then you open the door and obviously like you're pissed off beyond all measure of belief.
Well, you're covered in somebody else's fecal matter plus the blue crap that they put in there.
Yeah, yeah. And so you're out and like, who are you going to get mad at? Because that person's already run off. Like you have no idea.
Yeah, you're not going to want to be searching around because nobody's going to be like, oh, that's the dude that pushed over the porta potty. But people are going to be like, that's the dude that somebody pushed a porta potty on. He's covered in shit. Hey, can I have a funnel cake before I leave?
Oh, God, yes. Just 5 feet. We're going to maintain a 5-foot bubble.
That's so disgusting. But anyway, so this guy went in to use one of these porta potties and had a rude awakening from a spider.
Yes. It was his first visit to a portable toilet Since his last encounter with the spider, he said,
He's trying to get over his fear.
adding that the bite occurred on pretty much the same spot.
Was it the same spider?
Maybe.
Like he goes in the same porta potty, whips it out, and it just jumps out of the corner. Like, I warned you one time, motherfucker.
My house! My house! Revenge!
Don't worry, Martha. I'll protect this porta potty for us and our kids.
And then the guy's like, my mom's name's Martha.
The spider and I are the same.
This one is a bit more sore. It seems like it got a better shot at it this time. Also, like, the same spot. Like I don't know. I mean, I can't recall the last time I was bitten by a spider, but I would think those take a minute to heal. I mean, granted, 5 months is a long time when when a spider bite's trying to heal, but still, like, it's pretty much. He said pretty much the same spot, so I'm just thinking, like,
well, I mean, I can only imagine, and it depends what kind of spider it is, because there are spiders that are pretty venomous. Like, could you imagine like a brown recluse biting you?
Especially in Australia, because as we all know, everything in Australia is designed to kill you.
Or bite your dick, apparently.
Or bite you in the dick when you're in a porta potty. It is a really sharp, intense pain at the start. It's redder, a bit more swollen. It hurts a bit more. I got tetanus and anti-venom yesterday.
So it was venomous, or I guess they may not know what spider it is. So they just gave it to him for precautionary reasons.
Well, no, they say they call it a redback spider.
Oh, okay. So did he kill the spider, or that's why his dick's all bruised? The spider's biting him. He's like, stop it! Ow, it hurts so bad.
It jumps on and bites. He's like, no, punch. Oh, that was a bad choice.
Oh God, it's still there. Punch.
So then the porta potty door bursts open, and there's a guy running out, punching himself in the dick. Get it off! Get it off!
Gets tackled by police. Dude was doing meth in the bathroom.
No, it was a spider. Look at my dick. Look at it.
Look at it.
Redback spiders, known for their distinctive red stripe on their upper abdomen, are native to Australia and are found across the country. About 4,000 bites occur in a year, including about 250 requiring antivenom.
I wonder
bites
I was gonna say, I wonder what causes some to need antivenom and some not. If it's just a person's health, or if
I think that's probably part of it. It's also probably maybe the size of the spider, or the amount of venom that was injected.
So if it's like an 8 or 9 inch spider, it would do more damage than like a 3 to 4 inch spider.
Yeah.
So what about the 12-inch spiders that I've seen on the internet? Are those even more deadly?
I don't know. I saw this thing on the internet where you can give a spider a pill and it'll grow.
It'll grow a few inches.
It'll grow a few inches.
You do understand this is a metaphor for penises, right?
Oh. I do now.
Why are you looking up websites where you can give pills to spiders and make them bigger?
The porn that I like to frequent is none of your business.
Why is the spider out of money for the pizza man?
The bites, which can cause intense pain, swelling, and nausea, can be deadly, but no fatalities have occurred since antivenom was developed in the 1950s. God, so the nausea makes it even worse. So now I'm imagining a guy bursting out of a porta potty, pants around his ankles. He's throwing up and punching himself in the dick. What is the matter with Tom?
Probably from punching himself in the balls, though. That would make you nauseous. It's like when you get, that tap, you're like, oh, I feel okay. Oh, no.
No, taste pennies.
I taste
pennies.
The spider got me on the berries.
No, this wasn't on the berries. This spider bit him right on the dick.
Like, did it say like the shaft or the head? Because I'd imagine the head would be the worst.
I would think so too, but I don't. Yeah, it doesn't say. At least I don't think it says.
So I imagine Tom, he's like, okay, so I went number 2, I got bit on the wiener by a spider. That's like a 1 in a million shot, right?
Right.
I spent 5 months healing. I can't go to a porta potty because it makes me nervous. Every time I get close to one, I instantly go like in the fetal position, hand over my wee, protecting it. Like, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, and so we're like, you know what, Tom, you need to overcome your fear. It's been 5 months. Like, I'm sure it'll be fine. There's a porta potty right here. Like, you can do this. We believe in you.
That's the exact same porta potty that the event happened. Like, Tom, listen, like that spider's probably dead, right?
Yeah,
it's been 5
you gotta
months.
conquer your fear, and what better way to do that than the scene of the crime, man? You can do this.
One of his friends is like, listen, I'll go in there first to prove to you that's just fine. He goes in, comes out, he's like, look, nothing bit me. It's completely safe. And so Tom's like, all right, this is kind of silly. All right, I have to go pee anyway, so let me go. He walks in. This is nice, going pee.
I can do this. I can do this.
Here, doo-doo. Doo-doo. Spider. Get about your dick. Nom, 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 nom.
Nom, nom, nom. Nom, nom, nom. I'm a spider. Was it a gay spider?
Hey.
I like it when they're... You know what that spider is? This spider's a fucking size queen. That's
a size queen? I've never heard that reference.
It's like somebody that's very obsessed with... It's like a girl that's like, I only like huge cocks. Like, I don't like small cocks or average ones. I like huge ones. They're called size queens.
I've never heard that before.
And I think this spider is the ultimate size queen. Like, I want something that's 30 times my body mass.
And I want it in my mouth. Ah.
Hashtag wrecked.
I just imagine it's a gay spider too. Like, oh, shoot your web, shoot it. I'll shoot mine if you shoot yours.
I'll get yours, you get mine.
Hey, where you going, Tom? You love me and leave me, you son of a bitch. You wait till you come back here.
Health authorities in the state of New South Wales
were quoted as saying it was not a gay spider.
Confirmed to the Telegraph that the tradesman attended hospital this week. The tradesman said the nurse at the hospital, quote, started giggling after he described his injury.
What a bitch.
That's
or dick,
terrible.
Whatever it is. I mean, that's got to be embarrassing. You walk in like, you're like, because those things are always embarrassing. You go in the ER and you walk up, you're like, I think I got bit by a spider. And like, okay, that happens a lot in Australia. Can you tell me where you got bit? It was in a private area. Can you be a little bit more, scientific, sir? Like, what do you mean, like under your armpit, or on your leg? No. On my penis. You got bit on the dick?
That's terrible.
This guy got bit on the dick by a spider.
I bet it was an improvement.
What happened to doctor-patient confidentiality? I'm a nurse. I don't have to deal with that bullshit.
No HIPAA laws here. La, 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 la. You got bit on the dick.
B on the D. That's you. When you imagine he comes in the second time, same nurse. He walks in, he's like, he wants to walk out. He walks in, sees like, oh.
No, not this time.
I'm going to a different hospital. And she's like, oh God, it's Tom. Tom, what are you doing here?
Oh my God, it was so, I'll tell you, I went out with my girlfriends that night and I told them that story about you getting bit in the dick by a spider, and they all thought it was hilarious. They thought it was the greatest story I've ever had. So thank you. They all bought me a round of drinks. Oh, you're the best, Tom. Thank you so much. So what can I do for you today?
I got bit by a spider. Oh, where'd you get bit this time? On the dick, right? Wait a second. Just takes out her phone, starts texting. I'm going to drink free for a month.
Hang on, turn around. Snapchat.
So she's like, okay, Tom, let's go in the examining room. It's like, okay, I need you to take your pants down. She gets knee level, gets her camera out, takes a little picture. He's like, what were you doing? Oh, I'm just Snapchatting this. Don't worry. I'm going to Instagram it. I didn't consent to that. Well, we're out in public, so it's illegal.
Hashtag hashtag spider dick.
Spider dick part 2.
He said, quote, "They remembered me from the last time it happened." Oh,
there's nothing more embarrassing.
Everyone was laughing, calling me the unluckiest man in Australia. Well, now I feel bad.
Yeah.
I feel bad that we're doing this story.
Well, so what's bad too is he's probably sitting there and she tells him the story. He's like, oh man, I got free drinks. Everybody laughed at the story. He's like, well, since it happened a second time, once I'm, back up and running, can I go out with you and your friends? Maybe, we can go out, have some fun, see where it leads. She's like, God, no. Nobody wants to have sex with a guy who got bit by a spider.
Oh no. Like what if the infection's still there? Well, you're a nurse, you know that it's well, I mean, I'm not a good nurse. Obviously.
When you said dick, I giggled. And I Snapchatted it. I mean, that's technically not legal. I told you it was, so you wouldn't sue me. I need this job.
And still don't.
I've got a coke habit, and this job pays for it.
Asked about how he felt about being bitten twice, he said, "I think I'm very unlucky, to be honest. I was in the wrong place at the wrong time." Yeah, he was in the wrong place at the wrong time twice.
Twice. Do you think he still uses porta potties?
Would you?
No. The first time I wouldn't use a porta potty.
I try to avoid them, and I haven't been bitten in the dick.
I mean, there's fear, like in the States, there's the fear of going in one. There's a homeless person that tries to bite you in the dick. But that only costs like $12, so it's usually not a bad deal.
Right? You just tuck it under the seat, and off you go to enjoy your concert.
Gross.
I love to go out.
I love to sit in porta potties and wait for drunk people to come in.
$12 make you holla.
Get enough of those, you get a brand new 4K TV.
Yeah. So do you just want just the regular, or do you want the Australian kiss? What's that? That's where I bite. That's where I nibble at the tip.
I bite on it and then I inject you with some venom. Oh, the Australian kiss. That's down under, right? Yeah, kinda.
The Australian spider kiss.
Oh, poor dude. Poor dude. So he's the unluckiest man. Have they caught back up with him to see how he's doing now?
Well, I'm sure he's fine. I mean, he survived the first one, so I especially since they invented they said since they invented the anti-venom that there really hasn't been any serious complications death or anything like that.
So here's a good question. So I guess there's not much more on the full story about.
No, that was it.
Okay, so now we get to do the fun part, make up stuff about it. So you get bit by that spider, right? And obviously there's going to be some irritation. How long before you take that bike out for a ride?
Ooh, yeah, that's a good point.
Because if it's on the
because here's the thing. Because I feel like it could go either way. Because either it's too painful. And you don't want to touch it, let alone let anybody else touch it. Yeah, because you have a giant swollen bit on your wee wee, on your bits and bobs, or the spider has bitten you, say on the head, and because of the swelling or whatever, it's given you an extra inch.
Yeah. So instead of taking those pills, you've gone a more natural way.
Right. So the wife is like, "Oh, maybe it was a plant."
Maybe. The wife's like, "Tom, you're a little small. Go to this porta potty." And she goes around and gives a 20 to the spider.
You know what to do.
Well, I always think so if he gets bit, usually you get the swelling or that bite, can fester or scab over.
Yeah, and it gets all discolored.
Yeah,
especially with spider bites, because I know the way some spider bites work, it it creates like a necrosis. So
Okay.
like a lot of the tissue and stuff around the bite kind of dies.
What if? Oh God, could you? Well, so it bit him in about the same
So it
spot.
probably looks like a fucking horror show down there,
I
I
would
would
imagine.
imagine. Especially after 2 times.
I would imagine like it's got to be almost like a mosquito bite. Like mine always like scab over and they itch. So I imagine that had to be the same thing here. Plus, think about it too, like you said, like it could kill the area, like it could die. What happens if Tom has like no feeling in his wee wee anymore?
Oh my God, that would be terrible.
And like it's not only like, oh well, he doesn't get sexual pleasure. What if he can't control his bladder anymore? He can't like hold it. So now whenever he's like, oh, I gotta pee.
This?
Oh, I just peed.
Oh, why? Oh, see, this is getting more horrible by the second.
I know. I feel bad for the guy.
I feel bad for you. Well, my God, what if does this infection affect you? Are you? Oh God, you're sterile, aren't you?
The Rocky Mountain spotted fever. Well, I haven't really been aroused for like a month and a half. I just haven't wanted done anything. I don't think it's a cause of it. I asked the doctor, and Tiffany's like, "Oh God,
Bugs.
Is this what it is? Thank the Lord."
She's like, now I have a reason to say why I'm not interested. Like, no, you're contagious. No, the doctor said I wasn't contagious. You're contagious.
I have the doctor's
Sleep on
note
the
right
couch.
here. It's like, that's in Crown. I don't think Doctor Who's a real doctor. Oh, but it is.
D's backwards. I don't. Did you have our son write this?
I'm impressed. He's only 6 months and he can write this. And he knows who Doctor Who is. Richard's going to be so excited.
And I would be.
Yeah, I mean, I guess of the two things to have happen, well, so far anyway, the Rocky Mountain spotted flu or spotted fever or getting bit on the wee-wee twice by a spider, so far I got to say I probably lucked out with the tick bite that, the tick didn't stay around that I know of.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's because like you know where that's going. Like the tick bit you and you feel kind of shitty for a while. You take some pills and you're all better. That spider bite, like who knows what's going to happen with that?
Oh yeah.
Especially twice.
Oh.
Twice.
Well,
like,
it's like getting struck like the dude that got struck by lightning 12 times?
Yeah.
This is like, this dude basically, what would be the worst luck? Would you rather get struck by lightning like 12 times or bit by a spider on the wee-wee twice?
Ooh, that's tough. That's tough. Because, I mean, you get struck by lightning 12 times. That sucks a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Getting bitten by a spider doesn't seem that bad, but it's on the dick. And it happens more than once.
In the same place, in a porta potty.
In the same place.
Maybe you just avoid porta potties and you're in good shape.
He probably set that porta potty on fire. That's what happened.
The second time it happened, yeah, I'm kicking that thing over.
It's going to be like that scene in Office Space where they destroy the fax machine. Like you just see him bust out of his car with a gas can.
Not again, spider.
Die, motherfuckers, die, motherfuckers, die.
Yeah, but I guess I think I'm going to live, Richard. I hope I'm going to live. I start my pills tonight. I don't know how many I got to take. It's like 2 a day, 1 in the morning, 1 at night. And we'll see how I feel in a couple weeks.
And let's hope that there's no adverse effects.
Yeah.
Like death. Death would be an adverse effect.
I'd prefer. So I guess this is a good question since we're on this topic and you just mentioned death. If let's say that, I get a good 6 weeks in and I pass away from the Rocky Mountain spotted fever, would you continue the podcast?
By myself?
By yourself, or would you go find somebody to replace me?
I'd probably have to go find somebody. It's the language of bromance.
Yeah.
I need a bro for the bromance. I need a bro to mance.
Would you make them like you'd say, "What's up, everybody? I'm Richard," and then you'd be like, "And I'm Shawn," and then your new co-host could say what they want to, or would you, or would it be like what was it, the Brady Bunch, where they basically acted like one of the kids didn't exist? No, Happy Days. Happy Days, they had like a son.
Yeah,
and then like season 2, he didn't exist.
Yeah.
Episode 200. It's like, yeah, Shawn didn't exist for any of these.
Since you're here and looking at me, I'll say the first thing. That's what I would do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would honor you posthumously in every single episode.
It's weird. I'm listening to this new podcast called The Language of Bromance. They broke the mold and they started at episode 132. Really weird, but All right. Well, I guess as we're coming to a close, Richard, do you have any Richard's closing thoughts on this spider biting, tick biting episode?
Apparently insects are evil. That's the gist. We constantly worry about, oh, okay, here we go. Don't put off tomorrow what you can do today, because who knows, you might get Rocky Mountain spotted fever and you'll soon be dead. I think. I mean, no, I'm sure you'll be fine.
Hey, what's that in the background? Do you have my TV?
No, I bought it at a yard sale.
I bought it at an estate sale because some loser died of a tick bite. Or he's about to die. I don't know. I didn't listen.
The lady seemed nice.
All right, well, I'm going to do a little bit of housekeeping. Visit our website. We're at languageofbromance.com. Follow us on Twitter. We're at languageofbro. Email us at eatthebeaver@languageofbromance.com. Check out the LOB Army Intelligence Report. It's on our website. Comes out on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursdays. Like us on Facebook and subscribe and leave a review on Google Play Music, iTunes, and Stitcher.
And don't forget to check us out on the Pod Bros Network, and they'll all mourn your death, I'm sure.
They will find a cure for Rocky Mountain spotted fever and then sell it for billions of dollars.
After.
And if you want to join our Patreon account and help me be able to afford some medicine so I don't die from Rocky Mountain spotted fever, go to www.patreon.com/languageofbromance.
Oh my God. See, this could be your charity.
Yeah.
It'd be like for every $1 donated, we'll put 50 cents towards the cure for Rocky Mountain spotted fever.
Do you think we can get Ed McMahon and them to come out and do the
was Jerry Lewis
thing? Yeah, well, whoever. They're all dead too, aren't they?
Oh my God.
Well, I'm about to see them. All right, well, anything else before I close her out and we close the casket?
No. I think we're done here.
Well, that's all the bromance we have for this show, and hopefully just this show. I'm Shawn.
And I'm Richard.
And I say we eat the beaver.
That was great. Considering it was the last time we'll ever hear you say that.
I feel so weak, Richard.
It's okay. Give me your stuff.